Thank you guys for being here today. Today is July 20th, 2021. Thought for today: character is far more important than intellect in making a man a good citizen or successful at his calling. Meaning by character, not only such qualities as honesty and truthfulness, but courage and perseverance and self reliance, by Theodore Roosevelt. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order tonight. Tonight, we're going to ask if Commissioner Henderson, if you would give us our invocation tonight, and we're going to ask Commissioner Cowan, if you would give us our pledge tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With everyone bow their heads. Dear Father, once again, we come before you with thanksgiving in our hearts. We come just thank you for just being such a good God, my Father, one who sits up high and look down low, one who knows what our needs are before we know what they are ourselves. And we just come this afternoon as we conduct this county commission meeting with thanksgiving in our hearts. We just want to do your will. This we pray. In our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Commissioners, I got a couple of things that we need to adhere to. So the first one up under the consent agenda, Esther Fleming's Newton County Water Sewage Authority. We want to make that effective date August 18th, 2021. August 18th, 2021. Okay, I got it. Also, also, no, that's it. What, amendment?
I have a amendment to the agenda to add the appointments to the JDA board that encompasses the DeKalb County, Newton County, as well as Gwinnett County. To add that as agenda item.
Already.
That is, I motion that we add on the agenda to include an agenda item to add the JDA appointment for DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, and
That's already an agenda item.
oh, it must have been added because it wasn't on the one that was sent to us. Yeah, so it wasn't sent to us.
It was sent out yesterday? Was it sent out yesterday? Yeah,
So it was sent the day before the meeting.
yeah, it was sent out yesterday.
Okay, so it wasn't within enough time for the citizens to know it was on the agenda.
I seek a motion that we approve the agenda as stated. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? Thank you. Passes 5-0. Next on the agenda is citizen comments. This opportunity that we allow citizens to come up and make comments about agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. At the first citizen comment, agenda topics only. You may come at this time. You have 3 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Agenda number F, Senior Services. I'm here on behalf of the seniors over at the center. They know I come to the meeting, and they have a request. They are concerned about safety, about the things going on around the county or country, and they asked me to come and ask the commissioners would you consider maybe putting some security guards over there, someone to be around over there. You know, they are shooting up places and whatnot, so they're very concerned about safety. And they wanted me to ask maybe y'all would consider, you know, having some kind of security around the facilities that they have every day. So that is the reason I'm standing here tonight. 'Cause it is happening around the country. They are picking different people places to go and shoot them up and everything. So they sort of nervous about it, and that's the reason I'm asking y'all to consider it. Maybe you can find something in the budget to get someone to be over there and sort of monitor the place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Agenda topics only. Agenda topics only. Please state your name, your address. Please, you have 3 minutes to do so.
Good evening. My name is Raymond Redden. I live at 3091 Fairview Road, Covington, Georgia. I'm here to speak against the case REZ 210011 to put warehouses in the district. And my concern would be this is a residential area with families. What would the impact on our community be? What would these warehouses be storing, and would there be any limitations on what they can put in there, such as chemicals, hazardous materials, or things of that nature? And how is this going to affect our traffic at that area? For me, I don't think it should be allowed because, like I said, it's going to have a big impact on our community. And if there is no restrictions put on there for them to say you can't have hazardous material or things of that nature, I think it's going to be a problem. One of the biggest concerns we have traffic. We discussed that when they want to build houses there, how the traffic will be messed up. So I'm asking you, when you consider this, consider the impact on communities and the families that are going to be most affected in the area.
Thank you, sir. Agenda topics only, guys. Agenda topics only. Anyone else? Thank you. That portion of our citizen comments is closed. Next, we have the chairman's report. We were excited to be able to go over to Mansfield and present them with our Bicentennial flag. Again, we are celebrating 200 years of it, being a county here in Newton County, and we're excited about it. Also, we will be having another movie night on July 30th at 8 p.m. We're going to be looking at Sweet Home, Alabama. We're excited about that, so we're trying to make sure that we get that information out to the public as much as we can. Also, there's a job fair at Georgia Piedmont Technical College, July 22nd at 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. Please, ma'am, please, sir, help us get that word out. We're trying to do everything that we can to help people in Newton County find a job that are looking for a job. So we are definitely excited about that partnership. Thank you. That's what I have for the chairman's report. Mr. Kerr?
Thank you, Mr. Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You do have before you the recap of some of the county department's activities. I'll not go into that this evening. I'll just allow you to take a look at that for yourself. But also, we do have a few things. New hires, 16 for the month, 15 separations. Next slide, please. Recap of the building permits. Primary commercial, we did not have any, but we did do 29 rather, primary residential during the past month. Next slide, please. It's a recap of the public works projects for the month. You can see the numbers that we have in each of the districts and the roads that we've been working on for utilizing our LMIG money and the money from 2017 SPLOST with decel lanes on Rocky Plains Road. Some of the other things that we're still working on, Riverwalk Farms, their tree removal and the sidewalk repair, Pitts Chapel Road widening project, and we did clear the emergency access roadway at the enclave so that emergency vehicles could see down through there and that they could make their way down through there. Next slide, please. This is some COVID vaccination data that we got from the health department. You can see the number of vaccines, 70,000 vaccines in the county. 35% have received at least one dose, 31% both doses. And then you can see broken down by a couple of the ethnic groups, 33% African Americans, 25% of the Hispanic population, both of which have received at least one dose. And then the COVID snapshot, this can be found on our website as well as the Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale Health Department, East Metro Health Department website. 106 cases reported in the last 6 days, and the total hospitalizations at 7-11 are the total number of deaths that we've experienced in the county is at 263. The following slide, please, is the epidemiology overview, and that will show you how it breaks down in terms of age and gender and so forth, and ethnicity as well. Next slide will also show you the percentages of people who have had, in each age group, that have had at least one dose, and those that have had 2 doses as well. And then the following slide is an update of the vaccinations in each of these the county areas there. So you can see there that how many have been administered and what the percentages are. And again, I'll leave you to, you can go to our website to dive into this a little deeper, or go to the Gwinnett, Newton, Rockdale site to take a little time to digest that. Next slide. This is the groundbreaking ceremony we had for our first tower that we're going to be constructing as part of the E911 upgrades that we have. And you'll see everyone there. This is up at Fire Station number 9, up off of Mount Zion Road. Next slide is our ribbon cutting that was done at Station 8 up on Gum Creek Road. And we're very glad to have that station in operation now. And next slide is the District 1 Bicentennial Cleanup Day. We had about 50 people sign up. And this picture shows some of the folks that volunteered to come and pick up trash. There's going to be another one coming up. So watch for the announcement on that. And of course, the other districts as well. Tomorrow, or a day after tomorrow, there'll be a ribbon cutting at Denny Dobbs Park for the skate park. We'd like to invite everyone to come out and join us for that ribbon cutting. Should be an exciting time. This is phase 1 of the skate park, and I know Commissioner Mason is excited about this addition to the park over there, and so this will be a good time. And something else. This is another amenity for that area. So please come out and join us. It'll be out there at Denny Dobbs Park at 2 o'clock. The next event is, I believe the chairman may have mentioned this a little bit ago, the free movie over at the Legion Field. And this is Sweet Home Alabama. The time actually has been moved to 8 p.m., I'm told, as opposed to 7. Found out 7's a little early. It's 7 o'clock now, and the light's still pretty bright. So they moved it to 8 p.m., but again, it's a free movie. I'd like to have everybody come. load up the car with your kids and relatives and friends, and they'll have free snacks and giveaways at the movie. So I'd like to have everybody there that can come. And again, we're one Newton. So, and that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any Commissioner Henry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two questions to ask you. The first question, Lord, what are we doing as respect to COVID if we're trying to encourage people to take their shots? I know you can't make nobody, but so are we trying to get the message out? Because I know in town and around District 4, there was at least one of my constituents and a good friend, supporter who had passed from COVID just last week. And, we had a couple of deaths in my family from COVID. And so what are we doing to try to encourage? And I'm just going to just say, I've been out walking and talking and trying to encourage anybody who I could say, you need to take this shot. And because I understand that the ones who are not taking the shots, any young people who are not taking the shots, those are most of the ones who are getting ill and some and die. And so what are we doing?
Well, we do have all of the notices posted on all of our website and social media regarding the vaccinations and the sites where people can get them. Unfortunately, you're right. Not a lot of people have gotten them. As a matter of fact, the mass vaccination center that we had set up, the East Metro Health decided to close it down because we were getting at the point where we only had one person a day or less. Sometimes they went for days without people coming in. So, but they're still available. There's several sites that are available. The health department being the primary one, but Piedmont also does make those available. But so there are still sites available outside of that mass vaccination area.
And thank you. Second question that I had for you, Lord, is I noticed that, and it's also for Commissioner DeMond too as well, is that I was reading the paper and I seen on news where there had been actually a shooting out at Dendars Park. And so what do we have in place to hopefully prevent that from happening again as far as trying to protect our citizens? And I should add one thing. At this, what I think I know, I believe I know, is that the gangs in Atlanta, because of the pressure that the city of Atlanta and the governor and the task force they are moving down this way. And so we need something in place, not only for District 2, we need it for District 4, we need it for all the districts. Yeah, all the districts, because they're moving from Atlanta down this way. And so we're just trying to, I would like to be not behind the curve, but in front of the curve. And so I guess the question that I started to ask you was, what do we have in place for that particular part in our other districts where we have recreation?
Well, one of the things that we're doing now is we are accepting and going after bids for cameras in the park because of some of the graffiti and all that's happened. We are looking at the possibility of maybe some kind of security. Primarily we rely on the sheriff's department to provide security in the parks. But that's always a possibility to do that. I think at whatever type of security or law enforcement, if we have people who are going to be particularly carrying weapons, I think they probably would need to be associated with the sheriff's office if we're going to do that. But that's also a possibility. But the cameras and lighting, make sure we have sufficient lighting to deter, to help deter people from doing that sort of thing.
Thank you. You have anything else, Mr.?
No, sir, I have nothing.
Thank you. Our next is the consent agenda. I seek a motion that we approve, please. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Pass 5-0. Thank you. Next is board discussion consideration. Magistrate Judge Melanie Bell requests approval of resolution R072021 to name Tyler Carey as the solicitor for Newton County Magistrate Court. Mr. Kerr. I'm sorry. Judge Bell, I apologize. If you would please come up.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. This will be real brief. This is a request. We currently are utilizing attorneys from the county attorney's office to serve as our solicitor in magistrate court, which would be for our county ordinance violations, code enforcement, animal services, and other violations of the county code. There's nothing wrong with those services. However, obviously we know the county is eventually moving towards in-house counsel. And then we don't want to be, no offense, paying for attorneys to come that far to represent the county in those cases. Tyler Carey is an attorney in town. He's a partner in Frost and Carey right here, 2 blocks from the courthouse. He does some public defender work for me in traffic court and approached me about an interest in serving as solicitor. That tends to be the hardest position for me to fill as a solicitor for county ordinances. Don't know why, it just is. And so we discussed it. He's interested. It is he'll be accepting it at the budgeted amount. So there's no increase in budget. Plus it'll be nice to have somebody who's right here and can run over to the courthouse. So that's the purpose of that request. And I'm open to any questions that anyone has.
Any questions, guys? Attorney Martin.
Judge Bill, when do you want it to be effective for Karen to no longer come so I can let her know what her last court date will be?
We were thinking that we have trials on Thursday of this week, and Mr. Carey, if appointed tonight, was planning to come watch and kind of get with her on that on Thursday, and then meet with me later in the week, I guess on Friday, about the logistics of that. But
So most likely Thursday will be
most
your
likely
last
Thursday
day.
would be her last
If that
day.
changes, just text or call me if you don't
Yes,
mind.
ma'am.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to ask if you would please, when you're speaking to the microphone, I'm getting texts with people saying that they can't hear us. Commissioners, thank you so much. I seek a motion, please. Commissioner Cowell.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution R072021, appointment of Tyler Carey as solicitor for Newton Magistrate Court.
Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Cowell and a second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight.
I can take 2 seconds. I just wanted to tell you we are working really hard in magistrate and probate. We are holding court 5 days a week, sometimes 2 judges at a time. So we are caught up from the pandemic in everything except evictions. We can't ever catch those up so long as the CDC moratorium is in place. But I just want to let you know that your county, the clerks have all been working hard and the judges have been working hard to get our backlog cleaned up, and we have done so. So I just want to let you know that. Thank you
so much. Greatly appreciate you. Next is item number 11, board discussion and consideration. Newton County EMA request approval of hazardous mitigation plan update resolution. The pre-disaster plan has been prepared in accordance with FEMA requirements and with FEMA requirements and requires adoption in order to plan has been prepared accordance with the FEMA requirements and requires adoption in order to receive funding for the hazard mitigation grants program. The plan will be updated every 5 years. Resolution number R072021A. Thank you. I see Mr. Nolan is here. If you would please. We're doing well. Guys, we have about 6 minutes before we have to go into zoning. So
Take just a second.
okay.
Yeah, this hazard mitigation plan is something that I've been involved with the past 25 or so years. We have to update it every 5 years. We've been working on this one for about a year. Finalized it. It's gone out to all of the municipalities for their approval. But this is one of 2 documents that ensures that we receive federal funding in the event of a presidential disaster declaration for Newton County. So all the municipalities as well as Newton County government was involved in the review and the makeup of this document. And we'll have to go over it again in 2025. So come before you today requesting you to approve this document so we can move on and be eligible for the federal funding in the event of a presidential disaster declaration.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Any questions, guys? I seek a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution R072021A as stated by the county EMA director.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please? A second. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judy.
Board discussion, consideration, Newton County Water and Sewage Authority. The City of Covington requests approval of service delivery strategy, working plan agreement to provide improved water and sewage service to the citizens in the unincorporated area of Newton County along 278. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This change in the service delivery area essentially is a swap of some of the service area, but it also serves to clean up the map and to provide a little more efficient service. The Deerfield area, which is located between the City of Covington service area and the Newton County Water and Sewer Authority's eastern service area, currently is not designated for any sewer service provider. It's designated for water to the Newton County Water and Sewer Authority. Even though it's outside the Covington city limits, it's actually within the Covington's water service area. And now that the new East Side High School is being constructed, the Water and Sewer Authority and the City of Covington entered into an agreement which provided for the Water and Sewer Authority to temporarily provide water and sewer service to the high school until Covington could develop a final strategy for providing that service. They've been able to do that, and there's understanding that there's a finite capacity in the Alcovey River Lift Station. It's been determined, though, that there is some growth that's expected in the area, that there could be the need for some public sewer there. But the Water and Sewer Authority and Covington agree that Covington should be the sewer service provider in that area. There's also land that's located to the south and east of the high school that could be served by a gravity sewer that would go into the lift station there. And Covington would like to retain this as a water service area and expand their sewer service to include that area. There also was an agreement between the parties that the Newton County is the Water and Sewer Authority is the water provider, identified as the water provider for Beacon Hill. There's an existing meter at Melody Farms. Melody Farms, we provide the water for, or Water and Sewer Authority provides the water for Melody Farms. What the agreement is that, or I'm sorry, Covington provides it. The agreement is to allow Covington or Newton County Water and Sewer Authority to take over those water lines to provide a loop that would to complete a loop that would connect with the water lines that are Newton County Water and Sewer Authority's water lines in Newton Ridge subdivision, which is located off of Highway 142, and to also have an elevated water storage tank that is located near Melody Farms. And so that essentially would be the swap that's involved here. We would allow the city to take the sewer, have the sewer designation for Deerfield and Deerfield area, that area there, and they would get the service delivery. We would be able to have the water for Melody Farms that would also complete the continuous loop for that area for the water and for Newton Ridge subdivision. So essentially that's what is being requested, that those service areas be changed and that the new service area map be adopted. That map then would be sent to the state for review and approval. But this body and the city of Covington both have to approve that service delivery change.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, you have any questions? I seek a motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to comment first if I could. Mr. Kerr and I spoke before the meeting, and I am not, I don't have a full understanding of what's trying to be accomplished here. And sewage in particular has far-reaching implications into District 1. This sewage has far-reaching implications into District 1, the dynamics of District 1. I would respectfully request that we table this item for 30 days so I can become fully informed and make my constituency aware of the implications of such a decision. So with that, I'll make a motion that we table this for 30 days.
Thank you, sir. It's been motioned that we table this for 30 days by Commissioner Edwards, and second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? All in favor? Stand table for 30 days. Thank you. Thank you. It's approximately 7:32, guys. We're gonna have to go into zoning. Max, Miss Judy, if you would please, ma'am, come up tonight.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners.
Good evening.
Tonight's agenda for zonings I think we have 7 total items, so I will do my best to get through these as tempered a pace as we can. Our first item before us this evening is old business. This is REZ 20-000011. The existing zoning is R2, single family residential, and it is in Tier 2 of the Almond Overlay. The request is to rezone from R2 to M1 light industrial. This is located in District 3 at 2001 Dogwood Drive, and there is approximately 28.73 acres in Newton County. As you can see here, that is the existing zoning table. I do want to clear up one item on here. You see where the color leaves and it goes to an aerial map. That property is actually located in Rockdale County. It is a part of the master tract, and it is already zoned industrial in Rockdale County. This again is our overlay map. This is in Tier 2 of the Almond overlay. And the history on the property: on April 20th, 2021, the applicant made a request at the Board of Commissioners meeting to table the petition for 90 days to allow them to meet with concerned citizens. The petition was re-advertised for the July 20th, 2021 VOC hearing. The applicant's intent is to construct an industrial warehouse distribution center, the subject site and surrounding area. The subject site is a total of 28.73 acres, undeveloped, and located on the north side of I-20, which also borders the eastern side of Rockdale County. There's 4 plus minus acres located in Rockdale County for a total of approximately 32 plus minus acres. This rezoning and conditions pertains to the acreage located in Newton County. The property is presently zoned R2 single family residential. The future land use map is designated as DN, a development node, in Tier 2 of the Almond overlay. The property is directly to the west, is zoned R3 single family residential. The parcel to the east is M1 light industrial, and across I-20 is zoned M1 industrial and is currently being developed with the new Lidl warehouse distribution center. This is a survey map of the property. This is a conceptual plan potentially of how the property may be developed. That has actually been updated. I do believe, I think that there has been some modifications maybe in the alignment of where the roads may come in at. But nonetheless, should the petition move forward, it will have to get approval from the Georgia Department of Transportation, as this is a GDOT road. Site plan analysis. Based on the site plan submitted on December 10th, 2020 by the applicant to the Department of Development Services, staff offers the following considerations. The concept plan shows a proposed 28.73 plus minus acre tract along with 4 acres on the Rockdale County side to create a footprint for an industrial warehouse distribution center. There is approximately 1,300 feet of road frontage along Almond Road with 2 proposed entrance exits for the development. The property also has CSX railroad frontage to the rail access. The site plan shows a proposed structure of approximately 372,060 square feet that will straddle both Newton and Rockdale counties. Should this development be approved, it would require either annexation of the land located in Rockdale or intergovernmental agreements put in place between the Newton County Board of Commissioners and the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners. It's staff's opinion that any expense and legal fees for the creation or review of any intergovernmental agreement should not be at the expense of the developer. It should be at the expense of the developer and not the taxpayers of Newton County. Conclusion. Provided staff's recommended conditions are incorporated into the development of the site, the proposed use is consistent with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan and with approved zonings in the area. Recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved M1, light industrial, conditional, subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1. To the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A. Submit a signal warrant analysis and a traffic study for review and approval of the county engineer and the Georgia Department of Transportation. B. Upon development of the property, the applicant will provide satisfactory ingress and egress for the site to be approved by the Georgia Department of Transportation. C, use of the property is restricted to the following list of uses: offices, research and product development facilities, light manufacturing facilities, including light assembly and fabrication, warehouse and distribution facilities. D, the following uses are prohibited on the property: adult entertainment, airstrip, private airstrip, auto auction, auto recovery, flea market, go-kart facility, homeless shelter, manufactured home sales, rental or repair, manufacturer modular home sales, display, mini warehouses, pawn shop, payday loan, title loans, check cashing, recovered materials processing, recycling station, rubber or tire plant, salvage operations or a junkyard, solid waste transfer station, a storage yard, as in for lumber, tattoo body piercing parlor or studio, a truck stop parking or dispatch. E, any required development agreements between Newton County Board of Commissioners and Rockdale Board of Commissioners shall be at the expense of the developer. F, where any street improvement, traffic control sign, street light, street sign, or traffic signal improvement is required to accommodate any new development, cost of said project improvement shall be paid by the applicant seeking the development permit. And we are back at the concept plan. That concludes the staff report. I'm happy to answer questions if you would like at this time, or if you want to hear from your public.
I think we probably got to hear from the public first.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It is approximately 7:40. We're going to open it up for public comments. We're going to let those that are in favor, with the applicant and those that are in favor, you have 10 minutes to speak. You can come at this time, please. State your name, your address for the record, please. The applicant and those that are in favor, you have 10 minutes to speak. You may come at this time. The applicant and those that are in favor, please state your name, your address for the record, please. You have a total of 10 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Rothel Lewis, Jr., 80 Shiver Boulevard.
The applicant and those that are in favor. The applicant and those that are in favor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Patrick Carter. I'm the realtor involved in the situation representing Mr. Stroud. I would like to take this opportunity first. Is it possible for us to make the presentation first to you all? Or
You can. You got a total of 10 minutes
Okay.
to do so.
all right. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Newton County Commissioners. My name is Patrick Carter, the commercial real estate agent with Caldwell Banker Commercial with over 15 years experience here in Newton County. Tonight, I represent Mr. Cleveland Stroud and his family. And at this time, will Mr. Cleveland Stroud and his family please stand up? Thank you. And Native Development Group in the proposed rezoning for 2001 Dogwood Drive located here in Newton County. I will be providing a brief overview of the property and development plan and address several concerns that have been raised in the planning and community meetings. As you can see here on the access and building plan map, the main access in the highlighted green, because I can't get the laser to work. In the highlighted green, there's the majority of the traffic will flow on the north side of I-20 along Dogwood Drive from Salem Road to the site and back. Additionally, you can see at the top where the building plan is, you will have two access points located along Auburn Drive. As previously discussed, the site is located right here in the middle. That's Vantage, and then right next to Vantage, which is zoned industrial, is our site. And you can see definitely around it the proposed there are industrial parcels that are already been rezoned. And as stated, 4 acres in the back of the property, the northeast corner, already zoned industrial. The rendering of the building is of high quality Class A material, which includes low E glass, building reveals, and textured paint for the exterior. And that will be the rendering of the building that you was a rendering of the building. On May 15th, 2021, a community meeting was held to discuss concerns and address any misconceptions that may have developed or the community may have had. One of the concerns was traffic. Therefore, a traffic study was conducted on March 8th, 2021, and it utilized pre-COVID data from October 2018. In that data, a 5.3% growth factor was used and grew exponentially to the expected completion date to lease up to 2023. And that did include all proposed developments and recent developments, including Lidl. What the traffic impact study did conclude was that 90% of the traffic trips will pass through Newton County, and only 10% will pass through, 90% of the trips will pass through Rockdale County, I apologize, and 10% will only pass through Newton County. The proposed development will not have impact on existing intersections, roadways, and it will not degrade existing levels of traffic and service. Additionally, there was concerns about the bridge. Therefore, the developer, we did obtain a bridge report that was conducted on January 28, 2021. And the report, in summary, said that the bridge could handle demands of current and projected traffic, and additionally, no expected repairs are needed during the next 30 years. So why are we developing a building without a tenant in mind? Over the past 5 years, 75% of the logistics centers built in the metro Atlanta area, 75% of them have been built without a tenant in mind. Ironically, that aligns with would you purchase a home or rent an apartment if you weren't able to see it firsthand? These tenants want to be able to walk into a building and understand how it's going to fit their business model and how it's going to produce for them. In terms of to ensure that the building is leased, from a data perspective, we pull the CoStar data, which is the commercial warehouse database where we pull all statistics to provide our clients. The demand for this type of facility is at an all-time high, with only 3% of vacancy rate on the I-20 East corridor in the Metro Atlanta area. So that means with the best leasing team in place, we'll be able to lease this building due to the current demand. What ensures that the building will be maintained at a high quality? This is going to be a $28 to $30 million initial investment that's going to be funded with institutional money. I apologize. Therefore, with this funding, we have to ensure that a high credit tenant will be in place to take care of this facility. So again, $28 to $30 million is going to be maintained to the highest standard. Other project considerations, as previously stated, the developer plans to follow and obtain all of the county planning recommendations. The surrounding the site is all industrial. The staff report supports this rezoning, and the 2018 Future Comprehensive Land Use Map supports this as one of the highest and best use, which being industrial zoning. This is the view along the Iris corridor on the south side of the development site. So to eliminate the sound and visual impacts, the building will set back 175 feet and will sit 10 feet below the existing road, that being Dogwood Drive. So what does this mean for Newton County? This proposed development will generate an estimated $275,000 a year that could be added to the tax digest, even if the building is not leased. Additionally, there will be little or no drag on community resources, that means being schools and emergency response. And in summary, we've already known, it's already been said that the site is already zoned residential for 55 homes. That could have an estimated impact of 84% on our police, fire, EMS, which is an impact of average calls per year. If it's zoned industrial, we'll have 117 possible new students attending schools, and will only generate $156,000 per year estimated in tax revenue. We feel that the industrial rezoning provides a greater benefit to Newton County because with only 72 trips, I'm pretty sure our emergency response leaders would appreciate a less than 1% drag on their resources. The only impact in schools it will have is this: you'll have $275,000 added to the tax digest, which can go to support our schools. Additionally, we'll have 200 jobs possibly for the students, for the citizens of Newton County. And last but not least, if it is left as is, you're only going to be generating $1,869 per year in taxes that could be added to the tax digest. That concludes this presentation. Thank you for your time, commissioners. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, sir. It's 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Anyone else want to speak in favor? You have 2 minutes left to do so. Anyone want to speak in favor?
Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening.
My name is Stephanie Lindsay. I reside at 75 Longview Drive. That's located in Oxford, Georgia, 30054. I'm trying to talk fast. Which you want to start? Okay. I've lived in this community since 1998. I'm very familiar with this property, very familiar with this road. I travel this road every day to go to work out. I want to just give you a little bit of information about this particular property. This is what we call air property. This property has been sitting there for years. We all have seen it. It's been empty. It's air property because somebody passed and gave Mr. Stroud the responsibility to take care of the property and sell the property for the benefit of the other individuals in the family. This property needs to be sold. He's been trying to market it. He's been trying to sell it. Hasn't sold. I have printed out a standard review. Issues that you have to take in consideration when determining whether zoning is permissible. In this particular case, they ask you to look at how long the land is sat. This land is sat for years. They also ask you to look at what is the best use of this land. The best use of this land, and the term that's most familiar to everybody is the highest and best use of this land, is zoned the way that the applicant has applied for. It's zoned industrial. I live in this community. I live right back from this particular location. And when we're talking about traffic, there's no really traffic on that road. But the alternative that he has to do, he already has permission to do it, is to put 50-something homes up there. That's without your permission. He can do that. He can sell it to a developer and put 54 homes in that particular location. That would not be good for our community. That's not good for our public safety. Commissioner Henderson just talked about the safety issues that we're having, the gun violence that we're having. Archer Shepherd just came up and talked about it. That's a strain on our community. The best use for this property is to zone it exactly the way the applicant has requested. The best use of this property is for us to benefit from $200,000+ a year in tax revenue. Commissioner Henderson said in one meeting that tax abatements have been his sword. Every time we get a company in, we give him all this free tax abatement. That's not applicable here. He's not asking for that.
Thank you, ma'am. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow for 10 minutes for those that want to speak opposing this. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
My name is Raymond B. Redding. I live at 3091 Fairview Road, Covington, Georgia. I look at the property that they're discussing here, and yeah, it's been sitting there for a long time. Okay, there you want to put a warehouse there. I think the impact to me is when people taking their kids to school, you got trucks coming in. If you're coming down Salem or on Fairview, you're going to be holding people up. So I think that the traffic analysis they showed, if you use it the way they're showing it, we're all going to be late for school. I got to go to Cousins. If you got trucks coming in that road right there, and one of them gets bogged down, we're late. I'm not opposing to jobs coming to the community. Now, if you're going to have those jobs meet for the citizens of Newton where it would benefit, hey, that's great. But you got to think about the impact on the citizens that live in that area also. I live over there. And I don't know, I just don't want a lot of traffic bogging down my exit in and out of my community.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else that would like to speak opposing tonight? Anyone else that would like to speak opposing tonight? That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Sanders.
First, I want to ask Judy a question. When was the first time this was placed on the zoning agenda? Well, the zoning planning commission. Sorry, planning commission.
It originally went to the Planning Commission on January the 26th, 2021. And at the public hearing, it was motioned by the board to table the petition until the February 23rd, 2021 meeting to allow the applicant to address some of the concerns that were raised during that meeting, which was traffic impact, and the speculative use of warehouse without there being an end user. On March 23rd, 2021, it was brought back to the Planning Commission, and they heard the petition, and they did recommend denial by a vote of 4-0 at that time, which moved on to the April 15th Board of Commissioners, in which it was tabled 90 days, and we are back after that 90 days.
And I remember, Judy, when we first conversed about this, and I was trying to ask questions about it, and I had so much pushback from the community. I think one of the issues where we both discussed is they did not know what was going to be in the building. And so, and this is the question. Once this building is built, how will the citizens know what is going to be placed in that building? Because that's been a major concern. And I heard Ms. Lindsay mention those various things, and also Dr. Carter mentioned those things as well. But the citizens' concern was having something built so close to their neighborhood, so close to their homes, so close to their area. Ms. Lindsay lives in Oxford, which is on the other side of District 3. So having those various things placed in their home in areas where these people actually live there and not knowing what's coming, that is an issue. So it's not that there's against the warehouse or the development or whoever's doing it. I spoke to these nice gentlemen. They put on the event for the people. They're very nice. I appreciate all that you've done for the community. But as a commissioner for a community, it is my job to make sure I go with the people. And it was denied by a board, a planning board. We all put these individuals on that planning board. They denied that by the planning board. And there were hundreds, almost 70 or 80 of District 3 that was on there denying, did not want this in their area. So my motion tonight, and I know all the other commissioners have their own vote, but I have to go with my community who stated that they did not want this in their area. My motion tonight is to deny the case number REZ21-00011.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any more discussion? All in, Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, sir. Actually, the way the ordinance stands right now, bearing us not having the moratorium, this is in the Almond overlay, which would allow up to 3 homes per acre. So potentially you may be looking at a little less than 90 homes on the property.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to ask, and I don't know if this would be to the gentleman that presented. So those individuals, I know Commissioner Sanders said that there were some citizens or residents that didn't want this there. Did all of those individuals attend the community event? And then after they attended the community event, did they actually state that they, once they were educated on this, that they still did not want it after they all attended that event?
Thank you, Commissioner Mason. I can actually answer that question for you. Yes, they did. The meeting was actually invited by the HOA presidents of various. They didn't invite the entire community. They invited those who were HOA presidents of various areas, and some that did not live on that strip that live in District 3 did show up. It wasn't advertised as it should have been because of how it was advertised, but the planning meeting, they showed up for that one. It was over 50 plus individuals that were there that voiced their opinion, and also those that lived in the subdivision right next to Lido, because they had no idea that Lido was coming when you guys voted for that. They found at the last minute that a warehouse was being placed in their backyard. They were on that call and said, we do not want to go through this again because we were not properly informed that a warehouse is going to be placed in our backyard in our $400,000 homes, and there's going to be a warehouse across from us. Let us have our peace living in our $500,000 homes.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to clear up that the planning commission meetings were actually at the beginning of this year held via Zoom. So the attendees were on a Zoom call. It was in attendance to the meeting, but it was not held in this boardroom.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. C. So what was the vote? I know they denied it, but it was unanimous.
Yeah, it was 4-0 at the March 23rd Planning Commission hearing.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Yes. All opposed? The motion failed 3-2. Oh, that's right. I need a motion, guys. That motion failed, so I need another motion on the floor.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve REZ 21-000011, subject to staff recommendations and conditions.
Can I get a second, please? Can I get it's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Cowan. All in favor? I'm sorry, any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. See, once again, our Republicans, they have taken over District 3.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor? Go ahead, discussion.
Again, the question is whether or not this property is suitable for residential housing. And that whole area there, I actually grew up in that area toward Old Covington and Salem Road, so I'm very familiar with that area. But it's always been as a small residential community right there. There used to be a round track racetrack there, and then there's Vantage Products has come in. So that's the only real use of that property. Feasible use, I think, is industrial. If you try to go to a commercial zoning, that's going to be a spot zoning because there's no more commercial in that area. It's either industrial or you leave it residential, and I just don't think residential is suitable for that.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to put it out there that this board does not vote based off of party. And so I just want to say that it's not about what I'm called. It's about what I answer to. And so I don't answer to anything that I don't live up to.
Guys,
so I just want to put that out there.
Guys,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Listen, we're going to stay on the issues. The issue right now is a zoning issue that's before us. So commissioners, please talk about the issues that's before us. Commissioner Sanders.
Thank you. Commissioner Cowan, when we talked on the phone, you said the applicant.
So guys, so we don't address each other.
Okay. Well, when Commissioner Cowan and I spoke on the phone, he gave me an idea of what could be placed there, and it was cabins. He said if I own that property, I will put log cabins there and rent them out, and have an area to where people who come in to visit, it will be a great location. That was one of the conversations I had, so I'm kind of dumbfounded right here, where he said the only thing to be on there is industrial. When the conversation was that he would put log cabins.
So guys, I'm calling for the motion. All in favor? All opposed? It passed 3-2. Thank you, Ms. Judy.
Oh, thank you.
The next item before you this evening is CUP 21-000001. On July the 2nd, just to refresh everybody as to what this request is about, this is a conditional use request to operate a special events facility at 19 Poplar Hill Road. This is located in District 5. This is right where District 5 and 1 split, but it actually is located in District 5. On July 2nd, 2021, the applicant sent an email requesting to withdraw the petition without prejudice. Would the board like to act on that, or would you like for us to go through the hearing?
Meaning she was drawing.
But you still have to motion if this board does allow for that, it still has to come in a form of a motion.
Okay. Commissioner Sanders, go ahead.
And I don't know if you're able to tell me, is it a reason why she's pulling the petition? Did she state? Or we can't
Well, my understanding, and she did send an email, there were several items that was necessary in order for her to move forward, which was a survey. There were concerns about some additions to that existing barn. There was concerns about the septic tank location. And to be quite honest, as busy as everything is right now to get a survey, you're several weeks or months out. So I don't know if it is because they just couldn't get all the information. If you withdraw without prejudice, it does allow the petition to come back in front of the board when perhaps they're ready to move forward.
Was she able to come back again?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna ask Megan to give us a motion, if she don't mind. I think this is in District 5.
I would recommend a motion as follows. I make a motion to accept the applicant's request to withdraw her petition that was sent via email on July 2nd, 21st, without prejudice, such that she can refile at a later time.
Can I get a motion, please? Commissioner Cowan. You want Commissioner Edwards, go ahead.
So stated as a motion to approve as stated by the county attorney.
Can I get a second, please? Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's come to my attention that the applicants, the former applicants, as of this last Saturday, were still having events at the facility, at this property, unlicensed events, and to which unfairly our deputies were called 3 different times. Now we're stretching our law enforcement resources thin. Those deputies could have been their time could have been well spent somewhere else, and I find it offensive that these applicants are still having these events at this particular property location. And I would ask, Sheriff, I'll do anything you need me to do to help you take care of that situation when it arises again. But I want to, and I'd ask this board to keep that in mind when they come before, if they come before this board again. I've been on adjacent property when they've had these parties. I'll call them parties. You can hear it up to a half a mile away. And at dark, they shoot guns into the air. Don't know who these people are. I've never met them. But it's disturbing. And when you can hear it that far away, I understand they did again this past weekend. So I would like ask the sheriff if his deputies ever need anything from me, information or anything, you just let me know. But I just find it appalling that we have to spend resources on a piece of property that's not licensed to have these type of events. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I just have
Commissioner Sanders.
one comment. Do we know what type of events, because their culture, where their culture is where they do have piñatas and various things. I'm from my mom's too, so I know various things that happen in the culture. So are you aware that it might be a part of the Hispanic culture which they might be focusing on? I might be attached.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know those cultures to address your concern, Commissioner Sanders, but I do know they violate the noise ordinance. And I know gunfire when I hear it. And at dark, when you start shooting guns in the air, nothing good can happen. Those bullets have to come down. So just making you all aware, but thank you for that.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor. We're going to go ahead and vote it up or vote it down. All in favor? Oh, we're drawing this. All in favor? Thank you. Passed 5-0.
The next petition for you this evening is REZ 21-000003. This property is located at 4485, 4425, and 4447 Salem Road, and there is also a portion on Smith Store Road. The total parcel size is 6.6 acres. It is currently zoned R2, single family residential, and it's located in Tier 2 and 3 of the Salem overlay. The existing land use map shows it in the development node, and the proposed zoning is to go from R2 single family residential to CH highway commercial. It's located in District 2. Here's a copy of the future land use map. As you can see, the parcel is highlighted in blue, and the development node is where our Salem overlay is currently designed the same way in the Almond overlay. The zoning on the property is shown as the R2 single family residential. You have the overlay map showing that it is in tiers 2 and 3 of the Salem overlay. On May 25th, 2021, the Planning Commission recommended approval with staff's recommended conditions by a vote of 5-0. At the June 15th, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting, the applicant requested to table the petition for 30 days to be able to address concerns raised by the community. Also laying in front of you this evening, out of the some of the concerns that came up, the applicant has come back with a self-imposed condition that I will incorporate into the reading of the conditions here. The applicant's intent to seek rezoning to CH highway commercial in order to allow for multiple uses, including but not limited to office use, fast food restaurant, and/or professional office space. The site plan. Based on the site plan submitted on April 1st, 2021 by the applicant, the Department of Development Services staff offers the following consideration. The site plan indicates opportunity for office uses and light commercial uses on the subject properties. All development is subject to the requirements of the Salem overlay. Conclusion. Provided staff's recommended conditions are incorporated into the development of the site, the proposed use is consistent with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan and approved zonings in the area. This is an aerial of all the properties that are requesting under this rezone. And here is the updated site plan. In the updated site plan, one of the concerns that came out was the residential properties and property owners that were south of the site. They were concerned that the 15-foot Salem overlay transitional buffer would perhaps not give them enough of a buffer between them and the use. So the applicant has self-imposed and updated with a 25-foot buffer and also with a privacy fence that would go completely along that southern property line for the entire length of the rezoning. So your neighbors would actually see the fence, and then there would be a planted buffer to help that transition there. Recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved CH Highway Commercial, conditional subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A, upon development of the property, the applicant will provide satisfactory ingress and egress for the site to be approved by the Georgia Department of Transportation for Salem Road and the Newton County Transportation Department for Smith Store Road. B, to the extent possible, provide interparcel connectivity with adjoining properties. Any relief from interparcel connectivity must be submitted to the Director of Development Services in writing for consideration. C, stormwater plan to be reviewed and approved by Development Services. D, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant will submit architectural elevations of all 4 sides of the proposed buildings indicating exterior treatments for the approval by the Director of Development Services. Structure shall meet all the requirements of the Salem overlay. E, all activities for any retail establishments shall be carried on entirely within the enclosed building. And F, which is the new condition, is a 25-foot buffer along with a privacy fence shall be provided along the entire southern property line. And I do want to make one other statement in reference to if this question may be a concern for citizens. Should a fast food restaurant look at this property and decide that they would like to locate there, there is a restriction that a speaker cannot be located closer than 250 feet from a residentially zoned property. So should a fast food restaurant want to come in, it would either have to meet that 250 feet separation for the speaker, or they would have to go through a public petition to request a variance or an exception to that particular rule. Because I do know that fast food restaurants do have the drive-through. So I did want to make sure that you did understand that.
Thank you, ma'am. It is approximately 8:17. We're going to open it up for our public hearing. The applicant and those that want to speak in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. You may please come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please.
Hello, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Mark Walton with Patrick and Associates Surveyors. It's my pleasure to present tonight this rezoning application. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Judy and the staff has presented pretty much a lot of the relevant information. I would like to point back out that this is in the Salem Road overlay, that it encompasses 4 parcels, 2 different property owners. It is within the development node as identified in the Salem overlay. We are seeking rezoning to highway commercial and the uses that are allowed within the commercial area. Going on through the staff analysis, we pretty much agree with all of the analysis. Salem Road is planning to be widened by DOT, and I believe that that is going to start occurring in 2022. There currently is not a particular user on board. What we're trying to do is by rezoning these parcels and having the flexibility, then the properties can be marketed for different types of retail uses. We do not anticipate a fast food restaurant because right now this property would have to be served by septic tanks. Running sanitary sewer to the property will be an expensive venture, so we're not anticipating that. I'm trying, as Judy mentioned, we have listened to what the community has said. We tried to we are increasing the buffer from 15 feet to 25 feet, and we're voluntarily putting up a privacy fence to further screen whatever potential use here occurs to prevent it from affecting any of the residential neighbors to the south. Beyond that, I think I would like to reserve any time, introduce the owners, and stand up here for any questions that y'all have.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this, please? Please state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stephanie Lindsay, 75 Longview Drive, Oxford, Georgia 30054. I'm also a principal of one of the owners in this particular project. I am one of the principals of CSCL Holdings LLC. I've had that company for several years. We have other properties that are owned by that company. We purchased this property contingent upon, well, we initially offered a fund of money contingent on change of the zoning. We later went ahead and purchased the property because we looked at the plans that the county had for the property. We looked at the fact that this was a area that was potentially going to be zoned commercial. It was actually marketed as commercial when it was for sale. And we looked at using the the Smith Store roadside to build an office. That's what the plan was. As we started getting familiar with more of the issues that the property had, one being septic tank issues, another being that one of the issues at the Smith Store roadside was that it was too small. There was a retention pond that was needed. We decided to kind of change gears with what we wanted to do with the property. But that was just for 2 of the parcels. I provided a breakdown.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ms. Lindsay, if you would bring them in, I'll pass them out. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it.
Doing the due diligence, I actually went and walked and talked to the other neighbors that were around this property, just kind of to see what their temperature was in terms of what they wanted to do, what they thought they would envision for their property. Because when you're kind of new to doing something like this, you want to make sure that you're not offending anybody. And that's what I did. I talked to the Hewells. I talked to Mr. Bly. There's a gentleman across the street that was ironically very happy to find out that this was going to happen, because it turns out a lot of people in that community, in that particular area, they want their property zoned commercial. And the reason is, one of the reasons why Mr. Bly got on board was because Mr. Bly says his property is located on Salem Road. He has 2 lots on Salem Road. He has 2 houses a house on each lot. He can't sell the house. He can't sell the property because not that many people want to live right on Salem Road. With that being said, in evaluating the land use future map that the county has approved, talking to the individuals, the fact that we all know that everybody always gets concerned about traffic. There was a traffic study done. You saw the traffic study. You have it there. One of the contingencies that you have to have in place when you're doing anything dealing with applying for a zoning issue or having a business come onto a particular property is you have to get approval by GDOT to make sure that everything that you're going to do on that property is going to be consistent with making sure that the traffic measures are stayed in place. I think that that is important to know. I know that there were some residents in one of the neighboring subdivisions, I think it's Westminster, that had some concerns. We addressed every concern that they had. There was a meeting that took place yesterday where these concerns were addressed. You know, I always tell people it doesn't matter how often you tell individuals that their property is not going to change in terms of value. People feel what they feel. If your property value didn't change with big box Walmart coming, your property value definitely is not going to change with these small businesses here. This property is not ideal for a restaurant at all. It's more ideal for office space. It's more ideal for a law office. It's more ideal for a realtor's office, a spa, a hair salon. I know a convenience store is good for Mr. Bly's property at the top of the corner. But for the most part, anything that's done here has to go back before the Planning and Zoning Commission. They're going to set conditions for anything that is done. I own property. I know that I wouldn't want somebody to come and infringe on my property rights, but I don't want that either. The highest and best use for this particular property is commercial highway. We keep kicking the can down the road and we can't do that anymore. I was a part of an organization called Smart Growth. What we did is we looked at the businesses that would come to the community and how the community was changing, and we tried to do it in a way that was not going to be offensive to the community, not going to be offensive to private owners. But I'm a private owner too. Mr. Bly is a private owner too. The Hewells are private owners too. The Hewells that are in the middle, they wanted to be a part of it, but they are, my understanding is that the mom and dad passed away and they have not had an opportunity to change it out of their property, but they expressed sincerely that their dad told them that they need to hold out for this to be commercial. So we're asking for this board to approve the application that has been submitted. Again, there's no end user in place. I was going to be the end user on the Smith Store Road side. Depending on how things go, that may still be the case. I'm not sure. But the bottom line is I also have, and I want to make sure it's in the record, a petition in which we went door to door to people in the community. We told them about the property. We told them where it was. We asked them if they need any additional information. We also told them where they can get additional information because the application that was filed is a public record. These individuals signed and said that they approve and they support this project to be approved. That's 65 signatures there that support this. I understand that there are going to be people that are probably going to come and talk about traffic. Again, I provided you the standard of review that you have to adhere to. Each one of y'all are educated. Y'all know exactly how traffic studies are done. Y'all already know how impact traffic studies are done. You know, based upon your experience, your skill level, your training, and frankly, your expertise as board members, that each and every application that's submitted has to have a traffic study. You also know that there are things that have to be put in place to address traffic issues. Traffic is not an issue here. This is not going to be what is called a destination property, where people are going to come from DeKalb, Fulton, Lithonia to come to this spot. This is a neighborhood site, and that's what it's going to be used for. The people that are going to frequent whatever businesses come to this site are going to be people that are already living on that road. There's not going to be any extra traffic. I'm familiar with Salem Road. I actually used to live off of Fairview Road, so I'm familiar with the growth that's here. There's a lot changed since 1998 when I first came here. There's a lot changed since 2000. There's a lot changed since 2010. But we are asking for this board to approve this zoning measure.
Thank you, ma'am. You got 38 seconds left. Would anyone else like to speak in favor? You have 38 seconds. 38 seconds. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Dwayne Stephen. I reside 70 Joshua Creek Road. I come tonight because I'm in favor of this project.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? You have 34 seconds. Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to oppose tonight. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight?
My name is Nancy Penn. My husband Kenneth and I own 87 Smithsville Road. We've lived there since 1968. I beg to differ with Miss Lindsay if she asks the people that live behind this 6-point-some acre property who have to try to get out of their driveway on Salem Road, on Smithsville Road, or make a left-hand turn. The traffic is always congested. We already have 6 gas stations, 5 fast food restaurants. We have a super Walmart. We have everything right there in that corner. You don't have to go anywhere. We have a strip mall with nail salons at Publix. There's one across the road at Walmart. There's a hair place. I mean, we have all, I didn't even count all those little bitty Subways and the 3 or 4 restaurants that are in the Publix shopping center. Publix has a delicatessen. And if you allow these people to build this subdivision, who's going to make sure that they put the buffer up, the privacy fence? If you go down there to Westminster, there was 50-something people on the Zoom line last night. We didn't have a community meeting. I really wish we had. Then you would have heard all those 50 people speaking that we don't want this. We don't want the congestion. We don't want any businesses. We bought these places to be residential. Look at the people in Buck Creek. They bought their homes there. They don't want any more businesses. We don't need them. Please keep Salem Road residential. And you talk about widening the road, it's going to stop at Smithsville Road and Salem Road. And how in the world can they get that done by 2020 when they haven't even bought all the property? 2022, excuse me. They haven't even bought all the property. That's just a guessing game. I mean, and why stop at Smithsville Road and Salem Road? It's already backed up at 230 from that red light at Smithsville Road. It's backed up on past Buck Creek, almost to Cowan Road. And when school's out, it's even more congested. Please listen to us and let it be residential. It's maybe zone commercial, but wait till Salem Road is done. Wait till there's less traffic on the road. Give everybody a chance. Please listen to us people who live there. And we had a good meeting last night, but I wish that everybody would have been there where we could have spoken and let you know out loud that we do not want that property. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak? Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Donna Lindsay, 140 Glen Isle Drive, Covington, Georgia. I have multiple points. One is the point about no additional traffic. If you have a business and cars are constantly pulling in and out, whether it's additional people or not, it's additional traffic because of the in and out creating issues. This drawing shows 2 driveways on Smithsville Road, which is where I live. And when you go up, this is right at the red light. You're almost always behind where that shows the privacy fence, backed up. You add additional people pulling out there in an already congested light, and there's no way we're ever going to get a turn left. And for those of us who live on Smithsville Road, several of y'all know this area well. The only other way you could go to get to Walmart or to get to the gas station or go to Chick-fil-A is you would have to go all the way back down Smithsville Road and either all the way go down to Oak Hill, go left to go to 81, go all the way back to get to Walmart, or you'd have to go to the right, go all the way down to 212, go to the red light at Brown Bridge. This is the only route for us to get to Walmart, to get to Publix, to get to the tire store, to get to Chick-fil-A, any of those fast food restaurants. If this has to be commercial, it should absolutely not happen, in my opinion, till after it's zoned commercial. Till after the road is widened, so we can handle any of this additional traffic. To me, this is being done strictly as a financial play, so that the property is worth more, making GDOT have to pay more for it because it's zoned. And right now, the applicant and one of the owners is in violation of a code enforcement violation, which they're very aware of. There's a bobcat, a dump truck, a camper, and an excavator on property which is not allowed because it's less than 10 acres. Again, since this is the only way we can get out of our houses to get onto any part of Salem Road without going an additional 4 to 5 miles out of our way, it would seem to me that if this is going to be approved, it should not be approved until after Salem Road is widened. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Cord. I live at 15 Silo Point, Covington, Georgia, and I am the HOA president for Heritage Point. And we live off of Salem Road. We've had several meetings about our community and getting involved. We are 100% for investment and improvement, but as the lady just said, we would like to see it develop more. We have horrendous problems with traffic. Everybody understands it already. But for the unknowns, nobody was able to identify what is going to be there. We had a public meeting the other night. They said there's a possibility of a gas station or who knows, but we don't know, so I'll leave that alone. But for the unknown factors, I am opposed of it for now, and I would like to disagree with this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening.
Good evening.
And my name is Lawrence Edwards, and I'm a resident of Westminster Community. My address is 450 St. Anne's Place. And I've spoken here several times in regards to our disapproval of what's being proposed for this particular area. I moved from Decatur to retire down here in a peaceful, low-density area, and I think this is just going to complicate it significantly. We have the whole community has concerns about appreciation of value in our homes. You know, equity is growing, but you know, you get too much commercial around you, it's hard to sell your property. The congestion, the noise, all these kinds of things will definitely affect the serenity of our neighborhood. We have 35 new homes that are being built in the community, and a road will come out on Smith Store, and this would negatively affect all the traffic in that particular area. So we honestly feel that we're well served with all the things that we have, all the amenities that we have in the community. We're well served, and I think this is not something in consideration of the residents there. It must be for tax digest or whatever reasons. But you know, I feel that Newton County is a wonderful county, something that everybody can enjoy. But I think it shouldn't be about bricks and mortar. It should be about the people that live there and their appreciation of a nice community. And I'll say that there are other alternatives that we see right there on Salem Road. There's 10 acres of land, I think it's commercial, but between Smith Store and the Walmart. Okay, plus there's 15 acres for sale now behind the Walmart. You know, there's land down Brown Bridge, you know, with the Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell and all these other sites that can accommodate these new offices and new office parks. We don't want blight. We have areas over there across from Kroger where it's a lot of blight now. People have left these buildings and offices, and you know it's terrible for the community. So I don't want to take a whole lot of time, but I will say Westminster community is not in favor of this. And with those other 35 or more homes coming in, I think it's going to be a very poor judgment to approve this. But all we can do is ask, and so we just ask you consider empathize with us basically, and consider that if this was your community, would you want that as well? So I do thank you for this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
My name is Brennan Cherry. I live at 30 Glen Isle Drive, Covington, Georgia, 30016. And I just wanted to echo a lot of what was said already. I agree with as far as the traffic goes. And I understand that maybe this isn't a destination, but I think any disruption to the traffic patterns is only going to increase the difficulty in navigating that intersection. You know, I know coming from Salem Road, turning left on the Smith Store Road, it can be difficult to make that. And I've sat through several light cycles waiting for an opportunity to be able to make that turn. And there's no dedicated turn light there to be able to help with that. And I've been there where I've seen those backups all the way back almost to Cowan Road. And then the gentleman before me, I thought, stated well that we are well served. A lot of the proposed things that could go there, I know fast food has been addressed. There's numerous ones we have there. We have several gas stations already. In the public shopping center, there are already several vacancies where there are opportunities for people to come if they want to put a business there. And then as the gentleman before me stated as well, there are plenty other places over in the Brown Bridge, Salem Road area where you could build developments. And so I just don't think it's necessary. You look at the needs of the community. I don't know that it meets any needs that we have. And I think it only goes to complicate the issues that we already have there at that intersection.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed as well. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I actually make my motion, we did have a information session last night. Where we did have a presentation because I wanted to make sure that that the citizens of District 2 were informed. And so I am here to represent the citizens of District 2. I've told them over and over again that I represent them and I am their advocate for District 2. And so per the District 2 residents, Salem Road really isn't positioned currently to handle any additional commercial enhancements due to the expansion of Salem Road still being in process. And so with that being said, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we deny case number REZ 21-000003.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. That passed. That's denied 4-1. It's Judy.
The next item before you this evening is REZ 21-000005. This property is located at Old Starsville Road and Highway 213 in District 5. The request before you this evening is to change the existing zoning on the property from A, agricultural, to AR, agricultural residential. The total size of the tract under request is 4.78 total acres, but they're only asking to take 0.73 acres to add to an adjoining property so that they can construct a single-family home. The applicant's intent, amend the zoning map from A, agricultural, to AR, agricultural residential, in order to seek rezoning of 0.73 acres of parcel 85-18 to be combined with the adjacent parcel 85-18A to construct a single-family residence. The site plan analysis. The applicant has provided a site plan and proposed use for the property. The residential land use is compatible with the zoning requested and with surrounding areas. For the purposes of this rezoning petition, staff is recommending conditions for the rezoning case which shall apply to the property if the petition is approved. Conclusion: the proposed zoning and use is consistent with the policies and intent of the future land use and comprehensive plan with approved zonings in the area. Given the land use and the zoning designations of surrounding properties, there is justification for approval. So to give you a little bit of background on this, if you'll look at this right here, this is the parcel that is requesting to add additional land to it. It has some a stream going through it, so it has some setbacks and so forth. Although it's a 4.78 acre tract currently, there's not enough land for them to use it to put a single home on it. So the request this evening is to take the adjoining parcel and take a little less than an acre and add it to, let me get to a site plan, y'all, I apologize, and add it to that tract 2 there to make it 5.10. I don't have my glasses on, but 5.10 acres. In other words, we're not at 6.10. Thank you. I need my glasses. But again, this is not to create a third additional lot. This is to take a portion of one lot to add with another, which would allow it to be able to construct a single-family home. Should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved AR Agricultural Residential, conditional subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1. To the owner's agreement to abide by the following. A minor plat of the newly combined 0.73 acres of parcel 85-18 with parcel 85-18A must be provided to the Department of Development Services for approval and to be recorded. And do you have any questions?
Thank you. We're gonna open it up.
Thank you.
We're gonna open it up now for the applicant and those that want to speak in favor tonight. For the applicant and those that want to speak in favor tonight, you may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. You may come at this time.
My name is Javier Zamudio. A35 Highway 230, Covington, Georgia 30014. Can you say it?
No, if you could, talk in the microphone for me, please. Thank you.
Want me to say the address?
No, you fine. Take your time. Go ahead. Take your time, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Mark, are you with him, Mark? If you would, please come up, sir.
Hello, I'm Mark Walton again with Applicant Associate Surveyors.
Thank you.
I wasn't aware that Mr. Zamudio's property was up here, but our firm surveyed the property for him. And when he purchased the parcels, the one piece we thought was large enough to construct a home on, but this is in an area where the county has very large buffers along the creeks, and so the buffers eat up a bunch of the property. And then he's got some not so good soils for a septic tank, so he needed just a little bit more land to have a lot that was buildable. So when we would take the land from the other lot, then it would be too small. So this zoning is required so that Mr. Zamudio can build his house on the big lot.
Okay.
That's correct.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak in favor? Would anyone else like to speak in favor? (9:06). We're going to close out that portion of the public hearing. I'm going to mark that as 9:06 minutes left. We also want to open it up now for those that oppose. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes also. Those that oppose, please state your name and your address for the record, please. Good evening, sir.
I'm Mario Nimpole. I live at 16 Poplar Hill Road. That's better, right?
Can you state your name again, please?
Mario Nimpole, N-I-N-F-O. I'm a local attorney here in town. For 27 years now. It's amazing how time flies. But I live at Poplar Hill Road at 16, and we also own the properties at Poplar Hill Road 18. Therefore, those properties are exactly adjacent to the applicants in this case, or asking for a special permit. I have filed with this board already 48 affidavits that have been owners that own property, all residents that are in opposition to this. You all have a copy of these. They were handed to you. I also filed a motion and was hand delivered to your office, Mr. Chairman, I believe. And that motion was never recognized. And I never know what happened to it. Never heard anything about it. We're here tonight to tell you that even though you told,
sir, I think we on a different case, not on the same case. I think you're talking about the wedding venue.
we're talking about Ayala, 19 Poplar Hill.
Yeah, I think that's the wrong. Yeah, that's not
I
that
thought
property.
that's the one you called. I apologize.
No, sir. No, sir.
So,
Yeah.
well, I know that, and that's what we're opposing because we were not called on that. That's what I was just telling her. We were not recognized.
There was a vote to withdraw.
But they were withdrawing. I apologize to oppose that, but they're
Sir,
withdrawing without prejudice.
Listen, we are in Mr. Walden, Mark Walden with Patrick Associates. We're handling their case right now.
Okay.
If you would please, and we'll have Miss Judy to talk back with you in just a second.
May I ask you this? Would you be opposed if I send you a written objection to it?
You can. I will not. If you would please, just step aside because we are actually in a public hearing for another case. Okay. Thank you, sir. Brian, could you start it over, please, at 10 minutes? Guys, we are, for those that oppose, you may come at this time. Please state your name and your address, please, for those that oppose. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. Commissioner Cowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a house cleaning measure. Megan, I did the title work on the original property, not the additional property that's being added to it. Will that be a conflict on this? I was contracted to do that, but I did the services, yes. Okay, I'll have to abstain then. The only thing I would ask is make sure that plat gets recorded properly. Whoever makes the motion.
Can I get a motion, please? Can I get a motion, please? Can I get a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, cut off guard a little here. Motion to approve REZ 21000005 with the recommended staff conditions.
Thank you. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passed 4-1. One abstention. Yep. Ms. Judy.
Yes, sir.
You will item number 5 of zoning.
Yes, sir. I can. Okay. All right. The next item before you this evening is FLU 21-000003. This property is requesting a future land use map amendment. It's located at 4248 North Highway 212. It is located in District 1, and the current existing land use map is residential. They are requesting to take the residential land use map and ask for that to go to AF, which is agricultural forestry. The intent of doing that would be to later be able to come back before this board to seek a zoning from the current AR zoning to an A zoning. So they are asking to downzone the property, but in order to do that, they have to amend the future land use map. So the applicant's intent is to designate the future land use map to AF, agricultural forestry, in order to seek a rezoning to be able to establish a tree service business in the A agricultural zoning district. The character area is Oak Hill. which is a sense of community forged with high quality education, local jobs, better quality homes, aesthetic standards, and family oriented activity centers. The appropriate land uses is agricultural, residential, office institutional, commercial, parks, recreation, and conservation. Conclusion. The 47.61 acre parcel is currently being used as a single family residential home. The applicant is proposing to establish a tree service business on the property. A tree service business is currently allowed in M1 light industrial, M2 heavy industrial, CG general commercial, and A agricultural zoning districts with an approved conditional use permit. Pursuant to the Oak Hill appropriate land uses, AF agricultural forestry is an appropriate land use request. Should the board decide to approve this petition, staff is of the opinion that the future land use map amendment may be appropriate in the area. There are no conditions of zoning placed on future land use map amendments, as this is a planning tool for future requests. Should the request be approved and a petition filed for rezoning and/or the conditional use, then conditions of zoning would be applicable at that time. Again, this is an aerial view of the property. This is really close to Highway, the intersection of 212 and Highway 162. The current zoning map is AR, agricultural residential. The future land use again is residential. The watershed map, it is in the South River watershed. And I apologize, we do not have any other slides on that. So again, just to make sure that the board understands, this is to change just the future land use map amendment. This is not a zoning change. It does not allow for any other use on the property. Should they choose to move forward, if this is approved, that would come back before this board. And the Planning Commission did recommend approval 5-0.
Thank you. I'm going to open it up now for our public hearing. The applicant and those in favor, we have 10 minutes to speak. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. The applicant and those that are in favor.
My name's Stevie Fuller, 4248 Highway 212, Covington. Yeah, I'm in favor of it. Like I said, it's mainly going to be for parking involved. There's no work gets performed there or anything. Just pretty simple. I think our only problem was that we have employees come there to drive the trucks to the job. So from where we're at now, so if we can get that, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak in favor? Anyone else would like to speak in favor? That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose. You may come at this time. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone want to oppose tonight? Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'd like to make a motion to approve FLU 21-000003 to amend the future land use map of Map 2 Agricultural Forestry to seek a rezoning to establish a tree service in the agricultural zoning district.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. He said with staff conditions. Then second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Passed 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Judy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're almost to the end, I promise. Um, the next item, next to last item for consideration this evening is discussion consideration of approval of the transmittal resolution R0722, should be 21B. Well, no, 072021B. It is correct in your books. I know that Susan checked that and had that correct for me there. And the report for the fiscal year 20 CIE short-term work program to send to DCA for review and approval. Some of you may remember that we do this yearly because we collect impact fees here in Newton County. And when you collect impact fees, there are certain requirements that the Department of Community Affairs places on the local government, which means that we have to have projects that are set up for designated uses of these impact fees. And we're required to do an annual report each year. This report actually captures financially June 30th of last year, which is the end of the fiscal year FY20. So the report is for capturing the last year's finances and the last year's programs. So on the report that you have, we have different things that are broken down, and these would be library items that we see in our future that we may want to add. These are also recreational projects that you may want to add. These could be transportation projects that are put on the short-term work program. And I do recognize that the one you're looking at now will change because our needs have changed, and there will be some things that you may go back and review and in the next year either want to amend, add to, or take away from. But this year, one of the things that we were able to get accomplished in our COVID 2020 is that they were able to complete some work out at the District 4 Dinah Pace Playground. There was funds from the 2017 SPLOST, and that is highlighted in blue, which means that is one of the things that we did that was on our list that was not captured in our last report, but was completed in this one. We also have, I thought we had one more. Oh, we do. We have one more item that was completed in this past fiscal, actually two. One was upgrades to existing county parks, concessions, and recreational facilities. These were done countywide, and that was from our 2011 SPLOST. There was also some recreation projects in District 4, which also expended the rest of that 2011 SPLOST. And although I am not finance, my understanding is that now all of the 2011 SPLOST for recreational activities has been expended. The next part of our program is to do a capitals improvements. This is for the library. And as you can see highlighted in blue, and these were completed, one in 2011 where we built the Oak Hill Branch Library, and one was completed in 2015. We are at the point now where those were actually projects that were extended on bonds. So once those projects have met a zero balance and we are actually collecting in the positive, we have another library collections volumes of $50,000 that has been set aside for once we get to that dollar amount. The next page is for the capital improvements for parks and recreation. And again, you will see a list of several projects in the area. If they are eligible for impact fees, we have denoted what amount that they are eligible for. It does not mean that they all have to be paid with impact fees. Transportation, yes, I mean, public hearing, yes, ma'am. It will need to be for public hearing. The recreation projects, again, if they're eligible for impact fees, we put that down. It doesn't mean that they have to be paid for purely from impact fees. It can be paid from SPLOST funds. It could be paid from donations. It could be paid from the general fund. But again, these are listed on here because they are eligible for impact fees to be used. And the next one is the roads. Again, you will see that we have several major road projects on here. These are not all the projects that we have, but we have tried to capture some that would be subject to the impact fees, because these would be considered a system improvement, not something that would just benefit a specific area, but it would benefit the county as a whole. And finally, this is the financial report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2020. On June 30th, 2020, these would be your balances in your impact fee fund. For the county, we are still at a negative balance of $305,728.45. For Parks and Recreation, we have a positive balance of $619,535.65. For roads, we have a positive balance of $1,540,888.11. And then there are other things for administration and for the report itself. But for the total impact fee fund balance as of June 30th, 2020, it was $2,027,260.46. And again, this request is to have this report approved this evening. It will be sent to DCA, where they will review the report. They will give us any comments if they find things that the last couple of years they did ask for us to give them more explanation in what the recreation projects would be. So you will see some other things that were listed on the recreation. But once they approve it, then it's brought back in front of this board for adoption. Once we adopt it, then it helps keep our local qualified government status in check for the next year.
Thank you. Those, we'll open up for public hearing.
Yes.
Thank you. Those that want to speak in favor tonight, you have 10 minutes to do so. If you would, please come and state your name and your address for the record, please. Those that want to speak in favor tonight. That portion of our public hearing is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose tonight. You can come at this time now. Please state your name and your address for the record, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. This ain't time. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. This ain't time. Yeah. But anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone want to oppose tonight? Y'all don't be last, please. Anyone want to oppose tonight? Thank you. That portion of our public hearing is closed. That would be, I think anybody can make a motion on this one. Any commission. Thank you, Commissioner Henderson. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
I noticed you stated there was you were saying money allocated to down the page down the Circle Park. I'm trying to.
There was, when I gather with the recreation department and the transportation department, and they are the one who provide us the information on
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
And so there was 25,000. Let me get back to that page. There was, it was completed in 2020. It was District 4 Dinah Pace Playground for $25,000, and it was from the 2017 SPLOST. Now, it may not have completed everything, but that's what was spent and allocated.
Yes, ma'am. I thought you were referring to, I probably misheard you saying something about impact fees money or something. So you correct on that one. And there was another one you said in 2000, somewhere in District 4.
Yes, sir. There are some projects planned that could be eligible for impact fees for all of the districts.
I thought it was another splash Was 2017? It was another one you said
Oh,
before.
yes, sir.
And I'm
That's at
sorry.
the end of, that's fine. That's at the end of the report on the, I believe it's going to be page 4. And there were some recreation projects in District 4 that were completed in 2020 that were from the rest of the 2011 SPLOST.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way I can see what those projects were? I mean, I'd like to know because I was thinking most of the projects that were completed came from 2017.
Yes, sir. I'll be happy to ask the director for
recreation. Just trying to keep up with the few
I
dollars cent we have in
understand.
District 4.
Yes, sir. I'll be
Thank
happy to ask him to provide that information.
Thank you. Calling for the motion. All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0.
And the final thing this evening before you is discussion or for zoning is discussion and consideration of, discussion and consideration of resolution R072021C. A resolution of the Newton County Board of Commissioners extending until September 21st, 2021, an existing moratorium on the acceptance of applications of zoning petitions and preliminary plats, concept plan petitions for new residential development.
Thank you. We're gonna need a resolution for that.
Yeah, it is. Yes, sir. There is a resolution in
Okay,
your binders. It's just because we are extending it, it requires public hearing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're gonna open it up now for those that want to, those that are in agreement with this extension of the moratorium. If you would please come now and state your name, your address, please. You got 10 minutes to do so. Those that are in favor of extending the moratorium. Thank you. That portion is closed. We also allow 10 minutes for those that want to oppose. You may come at this time. You have 10 minutes to do so. Anyone want to oppose tonight?
Barbara Morgan, 2158 East Street, Covington, Georgia. I don't necessarily want to oppose, but I would like for a statement to be made about why we need to extend the moratorium, just for citizen understanding.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone want to oppose tonight? Anyone wants to oppose? That portion of our public hearing is closed. Ms. Judy.
The request before you this evening is due to the staff has not been able to, with things that have gone on, as you've seen the 6 petitions that we had this evening, staff has not been able to get counsel with this board for a good work session for you to be able to give us direction on what do you see for those density requirements. Staff has worked at drafting several different drafts and requests, but without feedback from this board to let us know what direction you're wanting to go, it is very difficult to pull something out and put it in front of you. There has been a lot of citizen concern over infrastructure and development and needs in the areas, and I know that your citizens hear that when these rezoning requests or preliminary plats are being approved and then the developments are going in. And at this point in time, we have some very broad allowances, specifically in our overlays, that allow for potentially mixed use multifamily up to 12 units an acre. And I'm not sure that is still the direction this board wants on the multifamily. And I'm not certain what you want to see on your single family lots. We also want to make sure that in developments, when they're creating new subdivisions, that we have good requirements put in our ordinances for amenities and other requirements. So it's for those reasons we need a work session in front of this board for you to give us direction, to tell us what you want to see in those changes that reflect what your community is asking for.
Thank you, ma'am. Seek a motion, guys. It's been motion. Can I get a second? It's been motion by Commissioner Mason, and second by Commissioner Edwards. Any more discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Passes 5-0. Thank you so much, Ms. Judy. Guys, we are back on item number 13. Board discussion consideration. Cornish Creek is requesting approval of amendment number 2 to the William Street Rehabilitation Agreement contract for Crowder, Hazen, and Start the Sawyer team. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a contract amendment. There's been a $12 million contract awarded for improvements at the William Street Rehabilitation Project. This amendment is to fix the design fee at $704,000 with two allowances, for $10,000 each for structural analysis and a hazardous material survey, should those be necessary. And James Brown, our Director of Water Resources, is here tonight. Should you have any further questions about this project and or about this contract amendment?
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, y'all have any questions? I think a motion, please. Thank you, sir. I get a second. Thank you, sir. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Next is item number 14. Board discussion consideration facilities purchasing is requesting approval for the change order of number 1 to 5 Fields Lawn Care Landscape Maintenance Service contract. Contract term of 1 year and renewal option for 4 additional 1-year terms under the standard level of service to the location listed below. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment to our lawn care contract is to amend it so that there's 4 optional 1-year renewals after this initial 1 year that started July 1st of this year and then will end July 1st of 2022. After that, there'll be 4 1-year renewals, and this is in keeping with our purchasing policy. The other amendment to this is to add fire station number 8 and for our lawn care service to also do the lawn maintenance at the roundabout at Highway 81 and 162, and for the roundabout at Highway 278 and 142. Those roundabouts and then the future roundabouts that we'll have at 11 and 278. And I believe there'll be one at 142 and Highway 11. Those will all require that the county will add those as they come on board. Part of our agreement with the state was that we would agree to maintain those. So now we're adding that to the contract. So the total contract will be $95,304. And the monthly bill will then be $7,942.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, I think a motion, please. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. That's 5-0. Board discussion consideration. Mr. Kerr requests the board to approval of the memorandum agreement of of the Federal Communications Commission and Newton County FHA regarding the FFA tower at 720 FHA Camp Road. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of our E911 improvements, we are building a tower on the FFA property. Part of that, the ability for us to do that or one of the things that we had to do was to pass a review by the State Historic Preservation Office. The FFA camp is considered an historic site because of the nature of the buildings and the site, and because it was the founding place for the FFA, for the FFA. What we are going to be required to do to mitigate the impacts of the site, of the tower being constructed on the site, is to develop a series of panels that would be viewed by the public whenever they visited a new building that will be constructed between 2022 and 2023. These panels would be very similar to the type of information and pictures that you see when you enter into the dining hall there at the new dining hall at the FFA camp. We're agreeing that we will have these panels done in conjunction with a historic preservation professional, and that they will be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Office, and that we would agree that we would maintain those and that we would send information and copies of these panels to the State Historic Preservation Office. So this would, in the eyes of the Preservation Office, would help to mitigate those impacts and help to preserve the historic nature of the FFA camp.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, I take a motion, please. Make it a second. Thank you. There's been motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. 16, Mr. Kerr, seek approval to amend the Crown Castle site license agreement for Mount Zion Road Tower site. The order application number is 559235.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When this license agreement was drawn up, the agreement actually read to be an agreement between Crown Castle and the E911 Center. Since that does not exist as in the Newton County E911 Center, that does not exist as an entity. So we had to have the language corrected in this one, and actually that's the same issue that we have, I believe, with the next item on the agenda as well. And so that was corrected to say, instead of the Newton County E911 Center, it simply reads between Crown Castle and Newton County.
Thank you, sir. I seek a motion, please. Thank you. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. It passes 5-0. Mr. Kerr, seek approval to amend the Crown Castle site license agreement with Williams Brothers Tower site. Order application number 559237.
Again, Mr. Chairman, this is the same situation as the last one. The original license the agreement was drawn up identifying the parties as Crown Castle and the Newton County E911 Center, and so we needed to change it to say Crown Castle and Newton County.
Thank Can I seek a motion, please? All right, thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Mason and second by Commissioner Sanders. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Thank you, sir. 5-0. Next is item number 18, board discussion consideration, Newton County Parks and Recreation request approval of task order number 1, construction service agreement with Barnsley Construction Group. Project number RFP 21-08. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This agreement is between the county and Barnsley Construction to do design work for improvements to Turner Lake restrooms, to build the concession building at Stone Road, City Pond restroom building, and Turner Lake maintenance building. And the total for the contract for this task order is $25,901. Our Parks and Recreation Director, Dwayne Mason's here Dwayne Mask is here tonight. If you would like to ask any questions, give you some further information about what this project would entail.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? I think a motion of approval, please. Thank you. Can I get a second? It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Passed 5-0. Next is Public Works request approval to purchase mitigation credit for the bridge replacement project. Number PI00150097 at Brown Bridge Road and Snappy Shoal Creek. Mr. Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We need to purchase some mitigation land because we are going to be infringing on some wetlands while we're doing this project. This is one of the 2 bridge projects that we're doing on Brown Bridge Road. We're having federal highway participation in this program. And so this $64,900 is to purchase those mitigation lands inside of this basin. Chester Clegg, our transportation engineer, is here tonight. So if you have any additional questions regarding this project or the next project, he is available to help answer questions.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions tonight? I seek a motion, please. Thank you. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question I have is mitigation. Question I have, I thought you could buy mitigation property just about anywhere from a mitigation bank or whatever. You have to buy it just in the wherever you're doing the work at. It could be in Kearny's.
Well, it has to be in the same drainage basin. In this case, it's the Upper Okmulgee River Basin, and we were somewhat limited in the banks that we could choose from, and this is one of the few that had any left. So they do specify where the area that you can purchase the credits from.
So for the $64,000, on it. So how much mitigation property did we buy for that?
It goes by credits. I'm not exactly sure. There's so many credits per acre that you're disturbing, and I know it ended up being 0.32 wetland credits and 914 stream credits. Okay. I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly how many acres that is.
Thank you, Mr. Chester.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is Public Works request approval of resolution authorizing its attorney to serve as general counsel to exercise the Newton County powers to construct a road improvement project PI 00150097 to condemn easement for parcel number 9 and 10 on the bridge replacement project on Brown Bridge Road at Snappy Shoals Creek. Um, Kurt,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to go ahead, since Chester's up here, I'll let him go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are a couple of parcels along the right of way on the Snapping Shoals project that our negotiators, BM&K, have not been able to reach a settlement on. Newton County has, on our behalf, they have negotiated the purchase of the right-of-way easements from the owners of lots number 9, parcels number 9 and 10 in good faith. And I haven't included the detailed negotiation records. Been about 9 months, and they have not been able to get. It's one family. It's 2 different owners, but the same family, and they've not been willing to give us a counter offer. And we've had formal appraisals done on both parcels. And what the appraisal for parcel number 9 on the piece that we're trying to acquire is $5,600, and for parcel number 10 is $9,200. And so, condemnation will allow the county to go ahead and take ownership of the property, and then proceed with construction of the bridge. And meanwhile, the owner of the parcels can continue to negotiate with the county through the condemnation process, working with our attorney. And so I'm requesting that the Board of Commissioners approve the resolutions that were included in the packet, authorizing our attorney to exercise eminent domain to acquire the necessary right-of-way easements from parcels number 9 and number 10.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner, you have any questions? I seek a motion, please. Thank you. Thank you. It's been motioned by Commissioner Sanders and second by Commissioner Mason. Any more discussion? All in favor? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. Pass 4-1. Next is item number 21. Board discussion consideration new appointments for the JDA, Newton, DeKalb, and Gwinnett. The nominees are Commissioner Ronnie Cowan, Mr. Fleming Pitts, Ms. Barbara Morgan, Mr. Junior Hillard, and Mr. Tim Fleming. We're going to do this by the process of elimination. We're going to start with Commissioner Ronnie Cowan, who has been nominated. It's only 3. Yep, it's only 3. So we're going to start with Mr. Ronnie Cowan. All that are in favor for Mr. Ronnie Cowan, if you would please signify by raising your hand. 1, 2. If you will, all that want to support Mr. Ronnie Cowan, please raise your hand. Thank you. All that oppose to Mr. Ronnie, please raise your hand. Thank you. Pass 3-2. Mr. Fleming Pitts. Mr. Fleming Pitts. All that want to support Mr. Fleming Pitts, please raise your hand. Thank you. 5-0. Ms. Barbara Morgan. All that want to support Ms. Barbara Morgan, please raise your hand. Ms. Barbara Morgan. All that want to support Ms. Barbara Morgan, please raise your hand. All that do not want to support Ms. Barbara Morgan, please raise your hand. Scout, you got to make a decision. You supporting or you're not? Are you supporting Ms. Morgan or you're not? Yeah. You got support, not support, or abstain. One of the two. You're not support. She got 2. 3-2. Next is Mr. Junior Hillard. All want to support Mr. Hillard, raise your hand. All that do not want to support Mr. Hillard, raise your hand. We got a executive session. Guys, we got a executive session tonight for a while. So. Yep. You can, I mean, just say what you want to do and state the reason why. That don't qualify. That doesn't qualify. He feel you supporting? I'm sorry. So I'm gonna call it again. All that supporting Mr. Hillary, please raise your hand. All that do not support Mr. Hillary, raise your hand. Pass 3-2. The new members of the JDA are oh, okay, I'm sorry. All that want to support Mr. Tim Fleming. All that do not want to support Mr. Tim Fleming. No, you can't do both of them. You gotta vote one with the other. Do all that want to support Mr. Tim Fleming. Yes. All that do not. We supported Mr. Tim Fleming. Thank you. 4-1. So we got Tim Fleming. We got Ronnie Cowan. Fleming, yeah. Thank you. Next is Solid Waste Authority appointments. We didn't have any more nominees. These are the people that we have. Mr. Kent Campbell. Oh, no, not to me then. No, not to me.
I sent that nomination on back. Commissioner Henderson. I said, Commissioner Henderson. I sent to the whole group. That's when we were discussing about how many years somebody been on the board, and then Junior Hillard was one of the appointments that was submitted. I said, I can pull that email if you like.
You sent an email appointing Junior Hillard. Who you sending to? We're gonna go to a small recess. Was I included? add Junior Hillard to this list. Nominees. Apparently, it's just a mistake we left off. Can I get a motion, please? Give me a motion. Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a second? All in favor of adding him to the nominees? Yeah, we just put it. Yeah, we do. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. But you still got to do it the correct way. Yeah. Thank you. You got to do it the correct way. You got to do it the correct way. So now the nominees are Mr. Kent Campbell, Ms. Linda Hanna, and Mr. Boydie Morgan, and Mr. Junior Hilliard. Do it again. We need 3. All in favor of Mr. Kent Campbell staying on the Solid Waste Authority? All in favor? Kent Campbell. All in favor of Kent Campbell? Thank you. All opposed? 3-2. Ms. Linda Hanna. All in favor of Ms. Linda Hanna staying on? No, you don't. It's not a district appointment. All in favor of Linda Hanna? Please raise your hand. Thank you. It's 3. All opposed, Linda Hanna, please. Thank you. 3-2. Mr. Buddy Morgan. All in favor of Buddy Morgan, please raise your hand. All opposed, Buddy Morgan. All opposed. Okay, 3-2. All in favor of Junior Hillard, please raise your hand. All opposed, Junior. 3-2. Opposed. It didn't change. No, ma'am. Thank you. Board discussion, consideration, modification of GFA promissory note and loan agreement and for remediation construction project at East County Landfill. Mr. Kirk. I'm sorry, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you all recall, earlier this year, we came before you, the Solid Waste Authority did for a GFA loan where we're working on our new cell out there. I believe it's 8A, if I'm correct, is the name of that cell. We had at that time had borrowed $3 million from GFA. However, we are seeking an increase in that loan to $4,619,500. GFA did send us the contract revision paperwork. I've looked through it very clearly. It's all standard GFA terms. I have told Mr. Kevin Walters that I bring this before you tonight. It comes in the form of a resolution, R210224A. It goes without saying that our landfill, we've been working really hard to get those cells cleaned out and getting that landfill compliant. So time is of the essence with getting this loan approved and moving forward.
Thank you. Gotta take a motion, please. Been motion by Commissioner Edwards and second by Commissioner Mason. Any discussion? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess this is the Lord. Who is responsible for paying this loan back?
I'm sorry, Commissioner. What was
Who's
the question?
responsible for paying this loan back? The loan. The loan. We're going to apply for a loan. Then at some point we have to pay it back.
The county is backing the loan. But the Solid Waste Authority is paying the loan.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion? All in favor? It passes 5-0. Thank you. Next is item number 24. Also, I didn't see Mr. Campbell back there. He got his head down, but thank you for your service, sir. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you. Next is item number 24, citizen comment. This is opportunity that we allow citizens to make comments. You have 3 minutes to do so. We're gonna start off with you, sir. You didn't try to come about 4 or 5 times, so we're gonna make sure we get you up now. Uh, you do it. Yeah, yeah. The way it works, if you have 3 minutes to,
Yes, sir. But if I may just briefly approach.
thank
Petition for special permit. In fact, what I want to point out to you, some very, very brief facts. I'm not going to hold you up very long, but these people are so defiant of any rule of law or your own rules. I believe on May 18, this very board gave him a temporary permit and a 2-month continuance. In that order, there was, you can have a celebration if it's a family members, but you cannot have stranger or parties or dealings. Twice they already violated that rule. Police officers were there. I don't know, I believe they even cited him. Just last week, he had a wedding. Sheriff Kemp had to leave because he had business to take care of. But he was going to tell you how bad it is, how many times people call because of violations, shooting, loud music. You cannot even think because it is so close. Their music goes up to 3/4 of a mile. People can hear it. We're not talking about a little radio. We're not talking about a little soft music. We're talking about blasting music. Okay? Our homes are adjacent to this property. We had peace of mind. We all have a very, very lot of money spent and invested in our properties. We cannot tolerate these people doing what they do. You need to take that in consideration. Well, please give me your cell numbers. I'll have them call you. Instead of calling the police, we'll call you because it happens regularly on a daily basis. It's really, really annoying. It's a terrible nuisance. It's almost criminal. So I'm asking you, do not give permit or special permit to these people. Also, tonight we were opposed. We wanted to speak because he made a motion to withdraw without prejudice. Well, an attorney knows what that means. He's buying time so that he can come back 2 months later and look so good and everything is so handy, so wonderful. And that's what they do. And I want you to take that in consideration. He withdrew the petition. He withdrew his action. I think it should be with prejudice. I think it should be done. That's what we had all these people here tonight, all these homeowners are concerned about this, that we're going to oppose that. We didn't get a shot. I'm sorry that we were not called. In fact, Sheriff Kemp said they didn't even recognize me. I was sitting right there. I thought they were going to call me. He wasn't called. But that's what he would have told you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Yes. Please state your name, your address for the record, please.
Tony Devana. I live at 60 Poplar Hill Road. I'm going to echo on some of the comments that Mario made, but I hate to say it, but I think you guys have been had. When this application went to planning and zoning for this event facility, there were issues with no permits, things not up to code, and the excuse that we were given was that they didn't want to spend the money until they knew it was going to be approved. Well, then when it came before you guys, they wanted a continuance because they wanted to get all this stuff done before it was approved. So it changed their story on that. And then now they want to withdraw it, which you guys already voted on. But the fact of the matter is they're still having events, application or not. and there's it's just still going on. So, and just your point, it's not a culture issue. It's a noise issue. I mean, I live 1,700 feet away. That's the distance from here to where the old Covington police station is. I can hear this over my TV. I can't go to sleep because I hear it. Officers came out this past weekend, told me to turn it down. The officers leave, the music continues. I mean, it's just, almost every weekend. It's been like 4 events just since the last meeting that we had 60 days ago. So I have an issue with Newton County Sheriff's Office not enforcing it. I'm probably going to talk to Zell Brown about that. We're making some headway there. But I need you guys to help too. I mean, if this application comes back up, and they could resubmit tomorrow because of the withdrawal. I mean, you guys got to turn it down. And whatever you can do to help me with the sheriff's office enforcing the rules, I mean, it's in the noise ordinance. I mean, I've read it. The disturbing the peace. This after 11 o'clock stuff isn't how this reads. So I just need your guys' help. I mean, I'm to the point where I really want to move. I just can't take it anymore. My wife doesn't want to. We've lived there for almost 26 years. We love it here. It's a great county with great people. Don't take that away from me, please. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No, you come up. Any.
Hi, good morning. Well, good evening. My name is Pearl Robbins, and I grew up in Monticello, Georgia, which is right down the street. My address now is 200 Cinnamon Oak Circle, Covington, Georgia. This is one place I thought I would never be. I live here in Covington, and I'm a white-collar employee. I take a plane to work. I take a plane home. But when I come home and got to clean my backyard up because of the water and the trash where a road has been cut behind our house, is dumping water and trash, and it looks like the city dump. You do not want to entertain back there. On my backbone, the person that helped me, my husband died 10 years ago. My son was killed April the 18th by somebody doing a U-turn in a curve. I laid him to rest on a Monday. My daughter got a text message on Tuesday. She has kidney failure. She has cancer. I can't keep cleaning up that backyard where the county won't come out and clean it up. The trees in the backyard are rotten. The foundation has cracked because so much water has shifted. There is a retention pond next to my house, not in my backyard, but in my neighbor's backyard. The water and the trash don't go there anymore. It comes to my house. And before I look out my back door and it looks like garbage, I get back there in that mud and get it up. I cut up the trees. Yes, I own 4 chainsaws. But it's ridiculous. And I have wrote letters. I've had people to come out. And you know what they tell me? It's on your property. But it's green space. But here's the thing. I didn't have this property until they cut that road back there. And I've called the Army Corps. The Army Corps said, you know what, Ms. Robbins? That goes back to Covington County. You need to get with them and have them, the road department. They need to fix that. If you lived in my neighborhood, you wouldn't want to go to my backyard. I don't want to go to my backyard, but I have to because I have to clean it up. Now, I don't have any more help, but them trees in that backyard, yeah, they got to be cut down now because the bottom of them is out. And it's sad that I have to write letters and don't get no help, pay my taxes, and then send over here, and I come over here to the courthouse and complain. And you know what I get? Oh, let her fix it. So I'm going to ask you guys one more time if y'all will fix it before I show up on the news. And I'm not playing this time. I'm tired. And by the way, my foundation is now cracked. Who's going to fix that? You think you can get somebody out there now to clean out that retention pond and reshift that road back where the water go where it's supposed to go? Because this here is crazy. I can't keep living like this. The front look good, but the back is in trouble. Thank y'all so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Darlene Smallwood. I live at 730 Benton Road, Covington, Georgia, and I'm here for the 19 Poplar Hill Road. Number one, we moved out to the country so that we could have peace and quiet. We're not having it. The neighbors out there are worse off than I am, but someone needs to listen to our complaints. Number one, the people moved out there had the intentions on they're going to live there. They're not going to pay their taxes. They're going to have parties. They're going to have them before they got the permits. Okay, so they have their permits. They don't pay taxes. And then the neighbors are the ones that are not being able to go to sleep at night, rest. These people went out there, started the partying, started their events before they even applied for it. You can check the police department. You can talk with Ezel Brown. He'll tell you that people have complained to him as well. The other thing is the people went out there, took the building, and started their special events place. Okay, no permits. No septic tank. And the reason we know there's not a septic tank is because the neighbors have checked with the right people to ask. They have no paperwork on the septic. The guy that used to live there, that sold it to the people that live there now, said he had a building, but he did not have a commode that was in there. So he had no septic tank. So he did not fix that building for anything like that. He just built it for storage. It was Gary Price. Everybody knows Gary. And the neighbors around here will tell you that Gary said he did not put a septic tank. So where is their septic going? They have a lake that's right there. So the water is going into that lake, their lake, which is going to the reserve at Bear Creek, which you know the water. Okay, I'm trying to talk fast because I've only got a few minutes. So the other thing is they come there, they start doing what they want to do when they want to do, make loud music. You know, the law needs to do something. So how would y'all like it if y'all were living in a neighborhood that you went there so you wanted peace and quiet? We moved out in the country so we could have peace and quiet, all of the stuff. Also, there's going to be alcohol there so that there's a lot of people that's walking in the neighborhood. Suppose they get killed. Suppose somebody runs over them. Okay. Now we're asking y'all to deny it and also get us some help so that we know what we can do when they start doing their party and loud noise. How would y'all like to live in the county where you're paying taxes? They're not paying taxes. Wouldn't that put a bad taste in your mouth? It does me and it does all the other neighbors. There's some elderly that's in the neighborhood. And my time's out, but I could keep going on. But we would appreciate it if y'all would do something.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Anyone else? Commissioner Elton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've heard the complaints for the last 6 or 8 months, and as I stated earlier, I've spent time on adjacent property. I've spent time in the reserve at Bear Creek and tried to have a cookout while this was going on, and you could not stay on the back deck. You had to go inside. It was just that loud. I've been on the adjacent property when the guns started going off at dark. But what I want everybody here tonight to understand is they withdrew the permit. I was torn on whether to motion to allow the withdrawal. But I know they've set the example of they have no. I think the gentleman said a few minutes ago they have no regard for the fact that they have no business permit. They have no regard for the fact that they are breaking the noise ordinance. So, and I believe they've made a decision to move forward without it and still have the events. Now, the question becomes, and I believe what these citizens are asking us, what are we prepared to do next to ensure that they don't? I don't believe that's in our hands, but I plan on working with Sheriff Brown and his chief deputy to understand what we can do when this happens again. We want those whoever those citizens are, I don't know, and we want those people to live there in harmony with their neighbors, but it has to be in harmony with their neighbors. just like I have to. So I understand it. I don't live. I believe I heard it Saturday night. I live over in Mansfield, but I believe I heard it. And then I got multiple text messages and emails Sunday having to do with the events that happened over there. So we're going to address it. We need you guys' diligence as well, but hopefully we'll be able to take care of it. I don't know that it's an overnight cure, but we'll see. We're going to stay on top of it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders.
Well, I want to say a few announcements, but I wrote them down. First, the last meeting we had, it was before Juneteenth, so I wanted to thank all the commissioners and everybody that came out to support the Juneteenth committee. I'm not on the committee, but I volunteered like everybody else. But I also want to congratulate the pageant winners. The inaugural Miss Juneteenth pageant. So we had Little Miss Juneteenth, Michaela Bourne, pre-teen Miss Juneteenth, Miss Alexandra Redding, Junior Miss Juneteenth, Chelsea Williams, and Teen Miss Juneteenth, Jay White. Congratulations to them. Also going on in District 3, but it's for everyone. It's the Newton County Workout Series. It has been going great. All of the RSVPs have been booked. We have cycling coming up this weekend where we have a company, Nessa Cycles, coming in, bringing the cycles. We're working out in the West Side Precinct parking lot until we can get a building, our community center over in District 3. So we got to work out in the parking lot. So we're going to make do with it. So those bikes actually have been sold out, not sold out. They've been booked. It's actually a free event. So they're doing cycling this weekend and Island Spice Fitness. So it's a free fitness workout all the way until August 28th. So feel free to go on to commissionersanders.com and work out with the community. It's free to everyone. I want to invite everybody to the ladies of Newton County to the ladies retreat, Newton County Ladies Retreat, August 21st. It is free to every lady in the county at 6 p.m. It's for mothers, daughters, and mentors. You know, many women in the county may not have a daughter, but if there is a youth between the age of 10 to 17, bring them out because we want to love on everyone. All the women in the county get together and support each one as well as the youth and help and support the youth in their endeavors. Also reserve your spot there at commissionersanders.com. I also want to give a shout out to E&E Center for Events. I went to their ribbon cutting today. It is a new event planning center that's in Newton County. It's in Covington Village off the Access Road. Beautiful location. So we now have a location in the area, another location where we can have some events. So that's awesome. On tomorrow is the pop-up shop, Georgia Piedmont at the West Side Precinct. So that's at 12 o'clock to promote the actual job fair that's going to be on Thursday. Secondly, not secondly, that's probably fourthly, I want to thank the board for the denial of the Salem project and the Fiscal Road project, and I'm going to say why. It hasn't to do with the applicant or anything. With Commissioner Mason, our districts actually are connected. So anything that occurs in that area affects those in District 3. So he has heard from some of my residents as well. So just to give you some facts, Brown Bridge has 2 subdivisions that are being built. That's an additional 5,000 homes. Kirkland has 1,000 homes that are coming. Porterdale just approved rezoning of the golf course. So that on Crowd Road is going to be 600 apartment complex units, 500 homes, and commercial property. And lastly, on Fairview and Salem, Rockdale just approved last week apartment homes as well as about 200 multi-use apartment homes. So all of that is going to affect Salem Road. And speaking with GDOT myself on various projects, there is really no official answer when they're going to start. I've heard from the representatives and so forth saying it probably will be fixed by 2024. But we know a lot of the residents said it's been going on for 10 to 15 years and the road has still not been widened. So I do think that in that area on the west side, before we do anything, we need to make sure the infrastructure is straight before we keep building. Solid waste, I would love for those who on the solid waste board, looking at the numbers from the budget, when we provided this service for them for free, we spent almost $200 million. Okay? I mean, $2 million. Now that we're providing this service, service for a cost to the citizens, it's costing us $6 million. So we need the Solid Waste Authority to step up to handle some of this waste that we're having in the county. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Lloyd already mentioned our skate park ribbon cutting, so we're very excited about that at Denny Dobbs Park in District 2. That's going to be this Thursday, July the 22nd at 2:00 p.m. So we want to invite everybody out to that ribbon cutting. I also recently started a new initiative called the Clean Up Newton Project. We're going to have our first cleanup in District 2 this Saturday at 10:00 a.m. We're going to meet at Denny Dobbs Park under the pavilion. This cleanup will be a county-wide cleanup, so it's not going to just be just for District 2. So we are soliciting volunteers from all districts all across the county. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually be working to clean up our entire county and not just District 2. So please contact me to volunteer for the countywide Cleanup Newton Project. And we're starting this Saturday at 10:00 at Denny Dobbs Park. We're also going to be having Movie in the Park. We're excited about that in July, August, and September. We're going to have vendors with funnel cakes. They will have Italian ice. They'll have slushies. We'll have good barbecue vendors that will be there. Lemonade vendors will be there. So we are very excited about it. Our first movie in the park is going to be this Saturday at Denny Dobbs Park. The vendors will start getting there around 7 or 7:30. The movie probably won't start until 8:00. And so we want to invite everybody out to come and just kind of, we haven't really fellowshipped or communed together that much. So this would be an opportunity where we are outdoors. We can socially distant and enjoy family food, movies, and all of that. Also, I was grateful we did have a pop-up job fair last week, July the 14th in District 2. We reached over 150 individuals that were excited about the job fair. The job fair is taking place July 22nd at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. So we're excited to partner with them to be able to do that pop-up event to really market that event. I've also started another new initiative within District 2 where we are honoring and recognizing our high school graduates. And so we did have 3 high school graduates that I was able to recognize with the plaque. Mr. Tyler Dorsey, Morgan Hawthorne, and James Wilson all live in District 2. So I was able to give them a beautiful plaque, congratulating them, wishing them the best on the next chapter of their future from their commissioner. And so if there's any other high school graduates in District 2 that want to be honored, please reach out to me. And I have something that I want to give to all of our high school graduates. So thank you, Mr. Chair. Was that my announcement?
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you. Well, I just, we've been doing a little research, and some other people who came and approached me, and it's about the American Rescue Plan funds. And I think this, if I'm not hit me out a little bit, Lord, I think this part of the $10 million that we've got, if I'm not mistaken. And it was something I addressed with also at the city of Covington. There's a lot of people throughout the county who is hurting. We're quick to think that, or we're being told that there's a recovery. It's not. We've been told that, and I think the statistic Lord showed us at the beginning of the meeting about the COVID, about how many people have passed, I think 253 or around that number where they're passing. There's a lot of people who are still dying and who need help, and we need to figure out a way, if we can, at least try and help them to get their shot. But I'm also concerned about, in this month, there's going to be a lot of people put out their homes. And we know that from the city of Covington Housing Authority, there's going to be at least 30. And some say, well, they ain't paying the rent, they didn't do what they're supposed to do. Well, we can always throw a stone, but can we help some people, some children, some mothers who actually need help? And I think that's the reason why we are receiving that money, is to help people who are behind their mortgages, to keep their homes. People, we don't have nowhere, all these people get put out. We don't have nowhere for them to go but out on the streets. And is that what we want? I mean, so, I think we need to work together and try to help them, make sure that each district commissioner has money in order to help people who need help, and the ones who need help. And instead of trying to push them down, let's reach out a hand out and give them a hand up and help them and their family. And lastly, but not least, Splash. We looked at the Splash committee and stuff, and I think Laura and I talked about it a little bit. And I don't think I have anybody on it. And so I'm hoping that they're not making decisions as far as the Splash money, and that we'll be able to at least give all the commissioners some money to further invest in their district so they can make their district a little bit better than what they are now, and especially for our children and for the older people in our community. Thank you, Mr. C.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Towns. I'm sorry? Okay. Guys, I think we do have a need for executive session tonight, and we may be taking a vote. Is that correct, Mr. Land
Yes,
not
sir,
land,
that's correct.
potential litigation?
For land acquisition and litigation.
Okay. And we may be taking a vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I take a motion that we go into executive session? Can I get a second, please? It's been motioned by Commissioner Henderson and second by Commissioner Mason. All in favor? We in the executive session, guys, but we may be taking a vote when we return.